This Redditch built Royal Enfield 350 Bullet is Asbo number 42, and I tuned this a while ago. I'm just turning the petrol on now to get the carburettor filling. It's racked up a good few hundred miles since I rebuilt the engine and tuned it. The owner, I think he took it to through France and into Spain. Did quite a long distance trip and it went okay, but more recently he's reported it came here because it had started smoking and had lost power and compression, and the top end of the engine was already stripped when he brought it here, and this is the piston that came out. I've replaced it, got a new replacement for that and new rings as well. Obviously it's easy to see where it's picked up and tightened up, and it left some of the metal scored off it stuck to the cylinder bore, which the piston rings then ran up and down, and they got marked as well. So in all, maybe it might have been possible just to get another set of piston rings and clean this up a bit, but for the cost and the cost of the pistons, which is quite reasonable, I just decided to get the whole thing. Most of what appeared to be scoring in the cylinder bore was actually remnants of sort of melted and welded on aluminium from the piston, so that all cleaned up well. There is some very light scoring down the bore, but nothing to get excited about. So I've put it all back together, cleaned everything up, honed the bore, and made sure the piston ring gaps are acceptable, things like that. And I'm about to give it a try and hopefully start it and see what happens. So I'm going to put the camera down. This is my first attempt to start this since the top end rebuild, no tricks. So it might be very boring, in which case I'll stop. But if it starts up, I want to keep it running for a while and warm it up a bit. Let's see if I can get up there with all this stuff it's got on it. Yes, just. Very pleased with how that started. It was nice and quiet mechanically. Get my torch and we'll have a little look. I don't know, sometimes you can actually see the oil returning on these, although it's a little bit tricky. It's got a fresh charge of oil as well, because there's a note on it to say that he drained the oil, so it's got fresh oil in it. Difficult, very difficult to see into these, to see whether the oil is actually coming back or not. Well, we got a bit of smoke coming out there, so that could be oil from where I assembled it, and also possibly there may be oil in the crankcase for all I know. I know he drained the tank compartment. I'll re-dip the oil shortly and see if the oil level's risen over what it was when I filled it. I'll know it's pumped some out the crankcase. But at the moment, the smoke is a good thing because at least I know there's going to be plenty of oil getting into the bore and onto the new piston and rings. So I'm going to let it carry on running and warm up, see how things go. But it started easily enough, sounds happy enough. Yeah, actually quite a lot of that. Could even be a bit of condensation, but hopefully either way it'll clear soon. Whether we'll get a ride on this today or not, I don't know. It's a bit crap out there today, but I don't mind that. But this bike's a nice clean example. Anyway, before it becomes tedious and boring, I'm going to stop filming. But like I say, this is Asbo 42, and I'm sure anyone who may be interested in taking a look among my earlier videos, put in a search for that. I think I even rode this one up the Black Mountain a couple of years ago actually, but I've got videos covering a lot of what I did with it. So I'm just going to keep it warming up and keep monitoring it, and hopefully we'll pick up on the story fairly soon.